Hey everybody, welcome to the day 20 recap of my Alaska 2026 epic adventure. This morning I left Tok, Alaska and ended up in Whitehorse, Yukon Territory. Overall, it was 402 miles, and total trip miles so far is 69.95. I left at about 7:10 this morning, and with a 1 hour time change to mountain time, it was about a 10 hour day. So 400 miles in 10 hours, not too bad, pretty easy. Weather, again, gorgeous, no rain. I would say mostly sunny. um, Clouds in the sky, but mostly sunny. um, Temperature was around 60, a little bit cooler in the morning, then it cooled off in the afternoon again. Wait for this guy to go by on his bike. um, but great riding weather, not too hot, easy to ride. The ride itself, the roads. I'm on the Alaska Highway now, so back on it again. The section that I rode from Tok to Whitehorse, I did not ride on the way up because I had went from Whitehorse up to Dawson City. So I actually, as of today, completed the whole Alaska Highway. Probably break it into three sections. Tok to the border. Um, it was about 2 hours ish to get to the border or to Beaver Creek. Um, about 100 miles. Easy riding. Road conditions were good. The U.S. side, the Alaska side, was paved pretty good. Not a lot of potholes, that at least that I can remember. Nothing significant. You always have a little frost heaves, a little bumps you got to get through, but not bad. Um, Once I got through the border, from there to Destruction Bay was a mess. What does that mean? Um, Long sections of gravel, short sections of gravel. You'd have pavement and then gravel. Um, Potholes, not as bad as up in Fairbanks and up to the Arctic Circle, but still had to be dodging them and make sure you don't hit them. Um, Frost heaves, pretty much slow going. The gravel sections were a little dicey. You're going 60 miles an hour on some pavement, and all of a sudden there's a 50-yard section of loose gravel. So I slowed way down. I was taking my time. That would seem to be the right way to approach it. Um, the gravel sections weren't that bad once I slowed down. There was a long construction area, probably a good 10 miles, with this other guy's leaving here, it looks like. So give me a second here while he gets out of here. I'm going to pause. Okay. The long construction area, pilot car, slow going. A couple sections were some pretty soft, mushy gravel. Um, I thought it was, I don't know, maybe 10 miles is a little bit long, but it was a long gravel section. So whatever, got through that. So that was like the middle section, and then the last section from Destruction Bay to Whitehorse. Good, smooth sailing, good pavement. A lot of it was like newly paved, or even if it wasn't new, it was good condition. So, flying along at 65 to 70 miles an hour. So easy sailing. The border crossing, really nice guy again. The Canadians are super friendly. Um, he just said, "Where am I going?" I said, "Back to the U.S." He's like, "You're from Wisconsin?" "Yep." He's goes, "So you're going to be in Canada a couple days?" I'm like, "Yeah." Um, do you have any weapons? No. Do you have anything you're going to sell to Canadians? Nope. Um, have a good day. So super easy border crossing. All I just needed to see my passport. That was it. Um, Animals. I'm back on the animal wildlife board. We had some sightings today. First one was shortly after I crossed the border. I flying down the road, and all of a sudden this eagle takes off from the other lane, like the side of the road, but he's heading the same direction I am, and he's on the ground flying really low, kind of taking off. and I'm catching up to him because I'm going pretty fast. And he's got a kill in his mouth. I don't know if it was roadkill or what. I didn't see that part, but and then as I got up to caught him, he must have got spooked a little bit, dropped the kill, and then ascended up and kind of turned away from me. Really cool. Obviously, I didn't get that one on video or a picture because I'm riding, but that was really cool to see that. He was right there, like right next to me. Bald eagle, white head, huge bird, really cool. Uh, Second one was a bear, another kind of cool encounter. I'm going along, 60 some miles an hour, and I see a bear. Hammer my brakes, try to stop, but there's a RV or a truck or something behind me. So I pull over, let him pass, and I quick do a UE. My idea was to try to get back to him and see if I can record it. Well, when I let the truck pass, flipped around, he was crossing the road. Well, I got up there, and by the time I got up by him, he was already kind of at the edge of the road and moving down into the ditch and off in the grass. So I didn't even try to get my camera out because by the time I get my gloves off camera, I just sat there and watched him, and he was doing his thing. But again, that was pretty cool. And then the last sighting was two wild horses. I'm I don't know, half an hour out of Whitehorse, maybe a little bit longer. All of a sudden, there's two horses on the side of the road, and they have wild horses up here. So I did take a video of that and posted a picture of them. So I have evidence that I actually saw them. So that was really cool. I actually took a half a decent video of them. They were just sort of hanging out, and then they both kind of walked away. When I started the motorcycle, they both kind of slowly walked into the tree line. That was it on animals, but at least I'm starting to see them. I saw a bear. I didn't see one. I think if I remember right, I did not see one bear in Alaska. I saw a lot of moose, but no bears. So I'm back into seeing the bears. Um, Ran into a guy today. I have to mention. I'm gonna call his name was Klaus. I'm gonna call him Calm Klaus. Calm Klaus is I met him at a gas station. Just stopped. I got some gas. He was inside the store when I walked in. He was on a bike. We were the only two guys on bikes there. I grabbed some stuff, got checked out, and was standing outside by a picnic table and thought I'd have a snack and something to drink while I'm kind of stretching my legs. He comes out and he starts talking to me and whatever, and where you going, and typical where you headed, where you going, blah blah blah. Talk about motorcycles a little bit. He's pretty much on the beginning of his journey. He is a German. Flew his bike over to Anchorage and started there, and then went up to a little past the Arctic Circle, and he's heading all the way down to the bottom of South America. He's allocating like 10 months to do that. 68 years old. Said he was not a good off-road rider. He's only had this bike for a couple years. It's a Yamaha Tenere. It's a smaller adventure bike. And then, this is the cool part, he starts telling me a story about his bear encounter. So he decides to take a break at some rest stop, parks his bike, lays down on the ground next to it, and actually fell asleep or dozed off. He gets awoken by a snorting sound, and he's like, okay, what the heck, So he looks over, and on the other side of his motorcycle is a big brown bear. Not a grizzly, a brown bear. And he didn't know what to do, so he's sort of sitting there, like just laying there. And then he sort of decided to stand up quickly and sort of let the bear know that he was there. And then the bear kind of got startled a little bit, and then kind of was doing this back and forth. And then the bear decided he didn't want to have anything to do with Klaus, Calm Klaus. And so the bear wandered away, and then he had a real good camera, so he started taking a bunch of photos of the bear as it was walking away, and at one point the bear actually turned around and looked at him. So I haven't had those kind of encounters, but the stuff's out there happening. I thought you guys would thought that was pretty cool. So Calm Klaus, add him to the list. uh, last thing for today, lodging. I know I haven't been camping much. Um, I had good intentions. It just hasn't worked out. Some of it's weather, some of it's me being tired, some of it's me just being a wimp. Um, I'm trying to stay out of hotels. It was hard when I was going to these touristy towns, but now that I'm back out of Alaska and into the Yukon, I'm gonna stay out of hotels and either do cabins or camp. Um, so I've been the last couple days, other than my night in Valdez, been in cabins, two out of the three last nights. So I ended up tonight at a place called the Yukon Motorcycle Park. It is a campground for motorcycles only. There are cars here, but they're mostly cars that have brought motorcycles here. Um, they have tent camping sites, and then they also have walled tents. That's what that is. They have a restaurant. They serve beer. They have common shower area. I think you can wash your clothes here, and they have a little area with some fire pits, and there was a couple guys hanging out there when I walked by before. Um, Really cool area. I took a pretty good video. I already uploaded it, so go check that out. Um, I'm counting this as a camping night. So I had two in my tent. Tonight I got one in somebody else's tent. It's a walled tent. It's camping. I'm in a tent. I'm gonna take the win on that one. You guys can debate me or say no, but it's my video and I get to make the rules. um, so pretty cool place. They have a little workshop. You can, if you got some problem with your bike, they have a lift and all the tools and all the fluids and all that stuff is there. I showed all of that in the video, so check that out. Kind of a cool place. There's people from all over that are heading up or coming back from doing the kind of trip that I'm on. Okay, that pretty much is day 20. I guess maybe one more topic around sort of, I talked about the roads, like the scenery. Um, Alaska, as I was leaving Alaska, you get to see the Wrangell St. Ellis National Park, and there's some really big mountains in there. I mentioned those the other day, but they're off in the distance. So I actually got some halfway decent pictures of that as I was leaving. I pulled over in a couple spots. Um, Once I got into Yukon territory, things are just very remote here, and I think it's just there's whatever 40 some thousand people in the whole province. It's a very big province, and 30 some thousand of them live in Whitehorse. So there isn't a lot of people out there, and it feels that way. It's remote and vast and big and larger than life. That's what their little tagline is. I remember saying that about a week ago. You definitely feel that way. You are out there by yourself. Um, I did ride along this really large lake, Kluane Lake, mountains on one side, lake on the other side. Um, Really nice, pretty view. So that was cool. And then the last stretch into Whitehorse was just there's mountains all around all the time. So I guess maybe I'm just getting used to mountains. I don't know, but very very cool. Very good riding day. Um, really enjoyed the day today. 402 miles was like nothing. I could have kept going. All right, tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to stay on the Alaska Highway from Whitehorse to Watson Lake. I stayed in Watson Lake at the I don't remember the name of it. I was with Crazy Carl at the time, and I'm going to go back to Watson Lake, stay there tomorrow, day 21, and then I will start working my way away from the Alaska Highway down a different highway to get a different experience. Um, and I'll tell you more about that tomorrow. that's it for the day 20 recap. It was a great day. Loving this whole trip has been awesome so far. That's all I got for you. Over and out.